It's actually nothing to do with me. It's actually the cosmos. So what you're going to do, I'm going to have 5 glasses of wine and not think about it because it's actually not my problem. So I don't overly know why I'm here. Not here like on earth, like here on video right now, and also here on earth. I kind of loosely based this video on the fact that I want to talk about a couple of like low level like witchy practices that you can do when you feel a little bit shit, but I don't have like a script or anything, so I'm basically just going to talk at you for X amount of time and hope that I come out with something kind of like coherent that might be somewhat useful to at least one other person. I'm also joined by my friend Jason. He doesn't say much, but what he brings with his mere presence is truly invaluable, so say hi to Jason in the comments. This video is going to be more like kind of chatty, rambly, like chain of thought kind of thing, and maybe it's going to be relatable to you, maybe it's not going to be relatable to you. I kind of hope that it is. So the whole kind of way that this particular video came about is because I had an entirely different video that I wanted to like plan and put out, and with this being October, I feel like I sometimes put like unnecessary pressure on myself to do something a bit more special on the channel for like, you know, Samhain, Halloween, witchy season. It's very much like my time of year. This should be my time that I should be thriving and pumping out content, but also should be like equally embracing the season and being like really witchy in like my spare time, and you know, like weaving nightmares and like fucking bubbling over, like standing over my bubbling cauldron all the time. You know, you have these like ideas in your head of what being like a witch is, or even if you don't like identify as a witch, if you're somebody who like any kind of like spiritual practitioner, I'm sure you've kind of felt this pressure before where it's like you kind of have to, there's certain times where you feel like you should be doing more of XYZ, whatever it is that it may be. And for me, I feel like being on YouTube and creating content, and that being something that I am really, really passionate about and really, really love doing, it can feel almost like a little bit overwhelming because whatever I kind of put out doesn't feel like enough. And I mean, I don't have a big following. Like, it's not that I'm like, oh my god, need to do this for the fans, because they simply will not survive. Like, if I like don't put out like 10 videos at Halloween, how will the fans survive? Because realistically, probably like 5 people are going to watch this video, which, I mean, I appreciate all 5 of you, but the world simply will not end because like I wasn't like witchy enough this Halloween, you know? So it's definitely like a self-imposed pressure that I put on myself, and that is outside of content creation as well. Like, this pressure's like, I feel like because it's Samhain coming up, I should be celebrating better than what I'm celebrating, or doing more, leaning more into my divination practice, leaning more into spirit work, using this time to do really powerful spells. And it's not just like Halloween or Samhain that I kind of feel like this. Like, I feel like this pressure if, for instance, there's like a full moon and I've not done some type of like magical work and I've not done some sort of ritual, I can feel like this, you know, because it's like a fucking Tuesday and I've decided that I've not done enough that day. It is something that I struggle with in pretty much every area of my life, not feeling like I'm doing enough and not feeling like I'm being enough and blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, that's like, let's unpack that another day because we've only got limited time here. But I guess other people must feel similarly to that like maybe they have like a little bit of like witchy imposter syndrome, and I have spoke about this before on the channel, where I guess it's just really easy to always feel like you're not doing enough, you're not being enough, you're not like your practice isn't enough. It almost sometimes feels like you're a child who's just like playing pretend at life. Like, because when I come on here and I speak about like tarot and witchcraft and astrology, and then like if I don't practice that perfectly and regularly, I'm like, oh my god, I'm actually like the biggest phony in the whole fucking world. But it's just simply not true. It's just, you know, life is there and life is in the way. Anyway, I couldn't get the video up that I wanted to put up because life is just, it's just fucking coming at me fast and it's coming at me hard, and I'll be really honest, I'm not having like a really good time in my personal life. Like, it's been like an everyday fucking struggle, and I've got a lot going on. A lot of that stuff is like not good stuff that I really don't want to be dealing with and that I'm really struggling to cope with. And I do have some really good things there as well that's like happening in my life. Like, I'm planning my wedding, like that's really, really exciting, and that's coming in February, which is only a couple of months away. So even though that's good stress, like it's like good stress and bad stress, you know, a lot of things were happening. So as it kind of like approaches Samhain, and I don't really know how I'm properly celebrating, what I'm really doing this season, I feel kind of like I have this like, oh my god, you okay? You okay? Yeah, so a lot going on. The witching season is approaching, and I definitely have this kind of like low level depression, high level anxiety going on at the minute. So I honestly just don't have the energy for, like as much spiritual practices as I would like, but I do know that it makes me feel better when I do at least something. So I guess I'm going to just kind of tell you like a couple of things that I do to feel a little bit better that is related or semi-related to like witchcraft, and so that I'm still practicing regularly, but these things are going to make me also feel better, and they're not too heavy a burden when you're already maybe struggling. I feel like the whole 10 minutes I just spoke, none of it really made a lot of sense. I'm going to try and fix it in editing and see if I can kind of make it a bit more coherent. My mind is very like I'm all over the place. And again, I don't have a script, so bear with me while I think about what I actually do. So some things that I regularly do is reading tarot. And again, like I do this, like I try and pull a card daily. I don't always pull a card daily, but I find doing tarot really useful when I'm like a bit scattered and a bit low. I know sometimes people will say don't do tarot if you're like in like a highly emotional state, because it can definitely skew the reading, and I think that's definitely true, because like that's the energy you're going to be putting out when you're doing your reading, and then like your interpretation of the cards are obviously only going to be seen through the lens of like how you're feeling at that current moment. But I still like to do tarot as a kind of like self-care tool. So what I would do most of all, and what I have been doing recently, the way that I'm like feeling now, is asking questions to the tarot about clarity on like my own feelings, where I should be focusing my energy to best look after myself, what kind of message I can receive from the things that's going on in my life right now, rather than divination or trying to figure out what's happening in the minds of other people, or I guess using the tarot more so to get through day to day and maybe week to week in smaller scale things, and just kind of using that as like a little like self guide. So yeah, some questions that I would ask would perhaps be like, what is this current situation trying to teach me? Where should I focus my energy today that's going to be most beneficial for me? Or even just shuffling the cards and asking the tarot to give me a journaling prompt from a tarot card, and then this will often kind of helps you kind of like focus your energy on the card. But then if you're going to go on to journaling through that card, I feel like because you are seeing it through the lens of how you're feeling right now, you're naturally going to start to speak about and process whatever's going on with you through the lens of that card as well, if that makes sense. So this is something that I do quite regularly, like a lot of the times where I'm journaling, and I need like a little bit of like a guide. I will like shuffle the tarot and be like, give me a card to journal on, and then I will just like literally write down stream of consciousness whatever that card brought up for me. And like that's really good because sometimes you'll like process like a lot of stuff and you'll come to like epiphanies and realizations, but sometimes you also just really just get your thoughts down and out and onto the page, and that's also like really beneficial as well. I also meditate really regularly, especially when I'm feeling shit. Like, I think if you're the type of person that doesn't have time to meditate, that means that you have to meditate. It's all the more beneficial for you to please meditate. And I guess like a lot of people kind of see meditation as not so like witchy, but it definitely is. So through meditation you can learn to ground your energy, move your energy via your thoughts, via your emotions. You can learn to regulate your own nervous system. You can learn to bring your mind to the present moment, or even in a guided meditation or a self-guided meditation, you can choose for your mind to like actively go somewhere else as well. So meditating is something that I really, really, really lean on, and always remind myself of how important meditation is for the mental body, the physical body, the spiritual body, and the emotional body. Like I'm like a firm believer that meditation is one of the first things that should be taught to really young kids, and it doesn't have to be anything like crazy. It can literally just be like closing your eyes, taking a few deep breaths, focusing your attention just inward for a moment, either on your breath, on a mantra. And if you want to add a more kind of like witchy element to it, and you want to like use this as like energy movement, then you definitely can do that. Like you can do a chakra meditation to kind of cleanse the energy centers and rebalance the energy centers of the body. In meditation you can create like a protection shield around you, or like any kind of shield that you want with visualization. This was actually one of the very first meditations I ever learned, was a white light of protection meditation. You literally just close your eyes, get yourself nice and grounded, take some deep breaths, and visualizing this white light around yourself getting brighter, getting stronger, and really kind of like enveloping you and like nurturing you, protecting you. But you can do this with different kinds of colours that kind of correlate to different things, I guess. Like, so like blue could be calm, pink could be love, red could be if you need like a little bit more energy, orange could be if you need like a little bit more creativity, or just whatever the colours mean to you. You can look up like specific colour meanings, but you're probably better off just like thinking what those colours actually mean to you and then doing it that way. I cleanse my house pretty often. I definitely cleanse my house more when I'm feeling a bit down or low energy, because like if I'm spending a lot of time in my home and I'm feeling low energy, that energy's kind of been pushed out into my home, and often your internal world and external world kind of like mirror each other. So I like to, you know, just take the time to like cleanse my home, like physically clean my home if I've got into like a space where like I've let my house get like a bit cluttered, because like my mind is a little bit cluttered. But I also do like to smoke cleanse my home as well pretty regularly. Doing this with intention can be like a meditative practice, and you can kind of draw in any intention that you like when you're doing your cleanse. So you could just be cleansing out like any kind of like negative energy. You could be like inviting anything that you want into your home. If there's something in particular that you're kind of really looking to like banish from your house, you could get really specific about that as well. I kind of just typically, if it's just like on like a normal day when I'm not working on anything in particular, I'll just kind of smoke cleanse with the intention of like moving around any stagnant energy. I make sure to open all my windows. This is really important so that energy's got somewhere to go. I also have pets, so I make sure that the whole house is like really, really well ventilated, and I keep all the windows opened, and, you know, just like practicing safely with like everyone in your home in mind. For me, doing a smoke cleanse just always feels like a little bit of like a refresh, like a little bit of like a reset. And if I do this at the beginning of the day, it kind of feels like a fresh new start for that day. This day can hold whatever this day holds, and then I can kind of feel a little bit better, and I've done a little bit of spiritual work for myself as well. If you've watched my videos or listened to my podcast before, then you know that I love a bath, love a shower. Feel like they're kind of like things that you're probably going to be doing anyway, depending on how low you're feeling or how much time you have. You might be like not doing that as much. I know like in like the depths of depression, sometimes like a shower can be like the first thing to go, but you're always going to feel better after a shower is the thing. And you can invite like a little bit of like the magical element into that as well with the products that you use. So of course it would be really nice if in an ideal world you had all like hand blended like shower gels and lotions and whatever. Most of us don't have that. But what you can do is either buy or look at what you've already got and have a kind of look at what the ingredients are in that. For instance, like a very common like shower gel ingredient or whatever, or bath bomb ingredient would be lavender. So lavender can be really good for calm, protection, soothing. So you can use this product with that intention. And if you do work with any little like plant friends or like herbal allies or anything, you can just kind of quietly thank these things for doing whatever it is that you want them to do. And this is like a really kind of low level way of being like, I'm taking care of myself physically because I'm like in the shower, but I'm also like energetically like asking lavender to promote peace and calm in like my energy field as well. Again, same with like body lotions, face lotions, just like again really simple way to do that. Or if you like the ingredients in it just aren't really like hitting, like they're not really like you're not like vibing with them for like whatever reason, you can like charm that product. So again, you can do like something kind of like elaborate to charm an item. You could also just do it like energetically, like hold your hands over something, close your eyes, focus your energy, and imagine your energy kind of going into that product with whatever your chosen intention is. And then this can be like a one-time thing. And then like say for instance you have a face oil, and every time you use this face oil you want this to like make you feel more awake, you want it to make you feel more enthusiastic, you want it to make you feel more bright, you want it to make you feel more beautiful, whatever it is, you've already kind of like charmed that object to do that. Again, there's more elaborate ways to do that, but if we're looking on something like very, very low level, very, very low maintenance, that's kind of the way to go. A lot of witchcraft and energy work is to do with like your intention. So the stronger you make your will and your intention, the stronger your spells are going to be, no matter whether they're like crazy and elaborate or whether they're super simple. And then some ways that you can like strengthen your will and your intention is through things like meditation, focusing your energy, channeling like your thoughts, learning. I feel like basic like energy manipulation is the kind of main thing to like practice to get you like going with other things. If you like want like a whole video or a whole podcast episode on that, then I'd be more than happy to do that. Like, I guess like tips for like beginners, like basic tips for beginners, I would be more than happy to do that. Glamour magic in general can be a pretty easy way to incorporate a little bit of magic into your day-to-day life. Doesn't take too much time, doesn't take too much energy. Again, you can already have items that are pre-charmed that you use for glamour magic, or if you wear makeup or you wear like products or anything, you could draw like glyphs or symbols or why can I not remember the word? Oh my god. I'm not joking. There's a word that's completely fallen out my head and I have no idea where it's gone. Like, it's like when you draw your own symbol and you use that like in your... Why can I not remember the name of that word? I've said it a million times. I've spoke about it on this channel. The word has just completely fallen out my head and I actually can't believe it. Oh my god. A sigil. The word I forgot was sigil. See, this is what I mean when I literally tell you my mind is so fucked at the moment that I forgot the word sigil. Something I have spoke about several times. Something I have used in my craft several times. The word actually just fell out my head. This is also like side note. Being a person who has periods, this is what it can be like every month. This is like... Anyway, like you can like draw sigils on yourself. You can create an actual sigil with like any intention that you want. Again, I can do a whole episode on sigils if you want, even though you're probably like, why the fuck would you do the whole episode on sigils? You don't even know the word, babe. I promise I do. I'm just insane. Yeah, so you could use sigils that you could keep as like your phone background. You could draw them in with your makeup before you like blend your makeup out. You could... I'm actually going to do this and I'm going to put one as like my Apple Watch like screensaver, because that's actually like an idea that I come up with. I don't think like the first person in the world to come up with it, but like that I thought about like months ago and just haven't done yet, but I am going to do that. Really kind of simple way to bring in a little bit of magic to your everyday life. Other glamour magic-y things that I use is, well, I use makeup quite a lot to kind of for glamour magic, just depending on how I want to feel that day, how I want to be perceived that day. You can also like wear like a necklace that's charmed for like good luck, or when you're wearing it you appear more confident or whatever it is. I also use like hair accessories quite a lot. For instance, I've got two little swords that I'll like often put in my hair, and I wear that like if I feel like it's going to be like a really tough kind of day. And then I've got my swords as like a little bit of protection, so you can get a little bit of fun with it. You can also wear things that are also known for protection, like lucky symbols in like your culture, like, don't know, like a 4-leaf clover, an evil eye, thistle, heather. Like many different things. You can use that in your everyday life. I'm trying to think what else I do. I like often, like, I keep up with like astrology like relatively regularly anyway. But if there's like an area of my life that's like a little bit like wonky, kind of similarly to what I do with tarot, I'll kind of see what's happening in the planets and how that might be affecting that specific area of my life according to my birth chart. And then that can sometimes just help me get a little bit more clarity about what's going on. If you're like very new to astrology, you could even just kind of see what sign the moon is in, what sign the sun is in, and then you could kind of see where that like lies, where those signs lie in your chart, and just see if there's like anything there that could be making things feel a little bit weird. I also just always find it incredibly handy to just have the moon to blame for something. Like if something's like going shit in my life, I'm like, well, it's actually nothing to do with me. It's actually the cosmos. So what you gonna do? I'm going to have 5 glasses of wine and not think about it because it's actually not my problem. I also like to take in a lot of kind of witchy or spiritual content that makes me feel good. Like if you feel like quite like meh and quite like shit, don't take in things that make you feel bad or make you feel like you should be doing more or make you feel less than. Take in things that make you feel good, or if you're somebody like me who really likes learning, and I really thrive when I'm learning, even if I feel like shit, I just love to like take in a lot of information. You could watch like or listen to educational YouTube videos and podcasts, and that might actually like inspire you as well, like to kind of bring a little bit more of that into your life. I love, like, one of my favourite podcasts is Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord, and she uploads several times a week with like any kind of major astrological things that are happening in the world, in the universe and all that up there, you know. And then she also talks about how that could be affecting you, and she also tells you certain aspects of your birth chart to look at. What I will say is you probably have to have like a kind of like at least base knowledge of astrology, otherwise I think a lot of what she's saying might not make complete sense. I think you probably have to have like a good idea of your birth chart, or at least know how to like reference and look at your birth chart. But again, that's kind of like the what's the cosmos doing this to me today for. And then like she posts like a video like the major astrology for like the upcoming week. That's amazing, because then you can do that and you can kind of be like, that's cool because she says that, and then like that makes sense as to maybe why this is happening. And then for me it feels like a little pressure off as well. Like, I don't know, it does just feel like things ain't all, I can't control any of this, okay? It's the gods. And then she also will post if there's like full moon, new moon, or any other kind of like major like event happening. So I really, really enjoy her podcast. I don't listen to too many other witchy podcasts. I'm currently listening to an audiobook called You Are a Goddess. I'm not very far into it at all. I think I'm like maybe like an hour into the audiobook. Let me have a wee look. My microphone's attached to my phone, so sorry if that was rattling around. Yeah, I'm like 50 minutes into it, so I don't have many notes to say on it just yet. So it's You Are a Goddess by Sophie Bashford, working with the sacred feminine to awaken, heal and transform. So far into the book, she's only really spoke about her own kind of personal experience and how her journey to working with the goddess kind of came about. But then, from what I understand, she goes through like the archetypes of like different goddesses and how you can use that for like your own healing journey. I think I'm gonna like it, because what would not be to like? But as of now, I have no notes. I will report back if you want me to report back. But yeah, just kind of like filling yourself with media that's going to make you feel good, and it's going to still help you feel connected to your craft. Is there anything else I do? Probably. Oh, I recently bought birthday candles the other day, because I can use like these like really tiny like little birthday candles for candle spells, rather than like bigger candles. Especially if I want to do like a spell that's more like just energy focused, and I don't want like a lot of faff, and I don't have like a lot of time. Can just light one tiny little birthday candle, and if I want to just like focus my energy on it until that burns all the way down, that's not going to take too long. Whereas if I've got like a big fat like pillar candle, that's probably not going to have the energy for that right now. Okay, even though I know a lot of people are of the belief that you can't like you can't like put a candle out during like a spell. I would say depends on the spell and depends how you feel, because I definitely have done that and nothing awful has happened to me yet. So unless all the awful things that are happening in my life right now are actually because I did that. Can you imagine? Making tea is also like a nice kind of thing to do for yourself anyway. It's just like a kind of like warm, cozy drink that... Why am I telling you it's like a warm... For anybody out there who doesn't know what tea is, it's a warm, cozy drink. I just meant like, if you're into like herbal teas, you can use like the herbal teas for like kind of like different intentions and to kind of like change your energy up a bit. Again, you can buy like inexpensive herbal teas, or you can get like specific blends like made by like people who you know have put like a lot of like intention into it. I haven't tried teas from anyone that I could like recommend and be like, oh, I like tried their tea and it was amazing. But I know the Witch Daily Show, which is a podcast, Tonya, who runs that podcast, I'm sure she has a company called Sip a Spell, and I'm sure that would be really good. And then I know the Norse Witch as well here on YouTube. I think she also sells teas, but again, I've not tried them. Just if you do like listen to or watch any of these people and you want to get some nice teas, they might be good options if you would rather buy from like a small witchy creator rather than just going by, I don't know, like fucking Twinings or something like that. I do a lot of yoga. I like to do yoga every day if I can. Sometimes I have an hour to do it. Sometimes I have 5 minutes to do it. It always leaves me feeling better. I think people underestimate, again, like if you're very into like witchy stuff or spiritual stuff, or a lot of stuff kind of like up here and like these like upper chakras, you kind of like forget how important the physical elements and aspects of that can be. Like yoga is a really good way to like physically move the energy through your body. With a lot of yoga, there's a lot of intention setting, there's a lot of breath work, you know, breathing, that thing that literally keeps us alive. If you can like learn breath control, you can really like change up how you feel in a pretty short space of time. Like you can use like the breath to energize you, you can use the breath to relax you, you can use the breath to make you feel sleepy, you can use it to make you feel like, honestly, like again, up there with meditation. I think breathwork and yoga should be things that are taught to kids in schools because it is just invaluable. I feel like if I like need to move something and I need like a little bit more energy, I'll do a more like flow based practice. If I'm like really, really low energy, really can't be fucked, I'll just do like a nice like yin or grounding kind of close to the floor type practice. I am also a lover of yin yoga while in bed because sometimes it just be like that and you really need it. Anyway, I don't think I've got anything else to say. I might have other things to say. If I can think of anything else, I put it in the comments. If you have any like little tips on little low level witchy things that you like to do, then please share with everyone. Hopefully this video was like not too all over the place, and until next time, take care of yourself. Bye.